All right, guys. The attendance tonight was 17,872. It was a sellout. Top grossing gate ever. I'll say this again. It was $4.3 million. We're number 1. We're number 2. We're number 3. The Eagles are number 4. And we're number 5 all time here. I know I said that already at the last one, but I had to say it again.
Obviously a different fight this time around in the main event, so I'm just curious kind of what you thought of Israel Adesanya's performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Whitaker came in ready and in better shape, and obviously mentally in a much better place than he was in the first fight, and he's a former world champion and one of the best in the world, and that's how the fight played out.
There was a lot that was made of him signing this massive new contract, so I mean, obviously you're committed to him. Where do you see the future for this guy? I mean, is this somebody that you'd be able to be a cornerstone of the company moving forward?
Listen, he's the champ. He continues to win, and that's just the way it works. The more you win, the more you do, the more you make.
Nice. Of course, he has ties to both Africa and the Oceania region as well. I know the world is what it is, but are there any signs of life of hey, we're looking at Africa this year, hey, we think we can get back down to Australia, New Zealand this year?
I'm looking at England right now. Let's get to England, okay? Let's get to England and see how England goes. And mask mandates are being lifted in certain places now. Maybe the games are over. We'll see how this plays out.
If the world was 100% open right now, let's say this is all done, like how big of a focus is Africa to host that first event?
Yeah, I mean, it's as big as anywhere else we want to go. I mean, it's been, 2.5 years now? We've been Vegas, California, New York, Texas 10 times, and Arizona and Florida. So there's a lot of places to go and a lot to do. But yeah, Africa is a big one for me. I definitely want to do Africa. There was a politician here tonight from Hawaii who's saying, we want you guys in Hawaii, which we've never been able to get done. That's a big one for me too. So yeah, there's a lot of places we want to go. But Africa's, when I look back on my career, I want to do a fight in Africa.
Nice. I did want to ask you, I know coming in we say, hey, look, there's a lot of options on the table, but Jared Cannonier, emphatic finish. He made sure to get your attention cage side. Yep. He looks like a man that you probably don't want to upset too much. So what do you think? Is this guy the #1 contender?
I was excited to see that fight, to see how it was going to play out. It was an awesome fight, and yeah, I'm not going to say no to Cannonier.
Is that June date that Israel mentioned, does that make sense? Is that too quick?
I don't know. Listen, that's the other thing that I love about that kid. He wants to fight all the time, so we'll see what happens.
I did want to ask you real quick about a unique character, Roxanne Modafferi, obviously called it an end tonight. I just wanted to ask you kind of your thoughts on her career as a whole, her impact. I mean, just a unique character in this
I love her. She's a great human being. She's always tough and durable. She brings it, and she's had a pretty stellar career here at the UFC. So, she lives in Vegas. I'm sure she'll be around, the office still, and yeah, we love her. This is her house, so she's welcome there anytime she wants.
Nice. Last thing I want to ask you, couldn't help but notice the chants of Joe Rogan throughout the night. There was some vocal support. I guess, what can you say about his absence? I know there was a line that there was a conflict of schedule, but I don't think many people were buying into that.
There's no conflict of schedule. Joe Rogan didn't work tonight. Joe Rogan could have worked tonight. Did he elect not to? Yeah, Joe Rogan had, I don't know what Joe Rogan had to do. You guys will have to ask Joe Rogan, but there was no Joe couldn't work or anything like that. I know that came out. It's total bullshit.
Okay, so you expect him back in March in Vegas?
Whenever he's going to work again, he'll be working, yeah.
Stand right here. Did you announce the bonuses at the beginning of this?
I did not. Thank you. Cannonier, Tai Tuivasa, and the Andrade fight was fight of the night.
Well, speaking of Tai, what did you make of his performance in there?
Awesome fight. I mean, that's another one. You knew, those two were going to get in there. Once they loosened up and started letting them go, it was going to be an interesting night. Tuivasa, he looked good. He won. He
wants you to do. He wants you to do that shooting.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm not getting out of this thing, am I? I'll see you in a minute.
All right, do it on stage, Dana, please.
Well, I
know you spoke highly of Roxanne Modafferi. What do you make of Casey O'Neill, undefeated in the UFC?
She accepted the villain role, said she'll be the best bad guy if that's what you want her to be.
Yeah, and Roxanne, the thing about Roxanne is she's very unassuming, but she's a very tough, durable, awkward fighter to fight, and Casey beat her tonight. So, she walked up to me on stage during the weigh-in and said, "I'm going to be your next world champion." So, I like her attitude. I like the way she fights. She's aggressive. She's tough. We'll see what she does.
Then one more. What would you make of Bobby Green's performance? The broadcast said it looked better than ever against a very tough Nazareth.
Yeah, he looked slick. He looked fast. Had the crowd on his side tonight. It was almost like he was from Houston. It was interesting. But no, Bobby looked good.
Dana, going back to Ty, he was ranked number 11 before this fight, and he just beat number 3. So does he immediately go straight up to that sort of level, like the top tier of the heavyweights?
What's the question?
He beat number 3 ranked, so does
Yeah.
that mean he's guaranteed to be up with those guys, with the Cyril Garns, with the Francis Ngannou's?
Well, you guys are going to rank him, but he should be top 3, top 5. So wherever he shakes out in the rankings, he'll be mixing it up with those guys.
Were you surprised at his ability to take some of those punches from Derek?
No, he's got a good chin, man. I knew that those two were gonna bang it out. Somebody was gonna get caught with something, but the elbows look good. He did take some big shots, and tonight was his night, man. He looked good.
Dana, over here. I'm fascinated to hear your thoughts on, in boxing, this whole heavyweight debacle we've seen over the last couple of weeks, right? I know that that's something that's kind of close to your heart because people won't shut up about Fury versus Ngannou. But what did you make of all of this talk and all of this stuff happening at the top heavyweights? And is that kind of indicative of the problems you've spoken about in the sport?
Yeah. I mean, these guys are. The fact that they're even talking about our guys shows you where it's at. Boxing's been a mess for a long time, and it isn't going to get straightened up anytime soon.
Will you be rooting for Dillian White and Anthony Joshua? Because if you have to work with a boxer for Ngannou later, you'd rather work with Eddie Hearn than Al Heyman or Bob Arum?
I'm not doing jack shit with Bob Arum. But the other two guys I like. I like Al Heyman a lot, and I like Eddie Hearn very much.
Dana, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, a song came out a couple of weeks ago about yourself by your good pal Jake Paul. Have you heard it, and what's your thoughts?
I haven't seen it yet, no. Is it good?
The music video is pretty intense. Chris Cyborg's in it, Antonio McKee's in it.
What's intense mean? Is it good?
It's a pretty good song, I think.
Yeah, you like it?
The lads over there, the Elk Boys, I know.
I think you're full of shit. That's what I think.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
Hey Dana, down here to your left. How did you score the main event?
I think I had it. I think I had it 3-2.
For Izzy.
Yeah.
And what do you think Rob did well in this fight that he wasn't able to do in the first one?
Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to shoot a lot more than he did. I thought he was going to go in for a lot more takedowns and really make Izzy work his wrestling. But he was aggressive. He was obviously way more aggressive this time. Was able to take the shots that Izzy did hit him with. I think he looked physically, mentally, and emotionally stronger in this fight than he did in the first one. You could tell in the first fight he was dealing with some issues and probably didn't have a great camp. And
Obviously, he's lost twice, but could you see a path where he could get a third fight if Adesanya is still the champ?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sitting right here, right now, I don't know.
Last question. I never thought you'd be an Agent Orange fan.
Yeah, big Agent Orange fan. Yeah, big. AL3 played it for me tonight in there too.
I know that's what made
Is that funny?
I didn't think Dana had a punk these days.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I was a punk once. Any other questions? Go ahead, sir.
One more.
Yes, sir.
Derek Lewis, he's always been a fighter that comes to fight, but he seems to always come up short just a little bit. What does Derek Lewis play out in the landscape?
Well, he doesn't always come up short. I mean,
not always.
Up until tonight, he was the number 3 ranked guy in the world, which is a big deal. He's got the most knockouts in heavyweight history. And, he went in against a guy tonight who's on a 5-fight knockout streak. Younger, he fought a 29-year-old guy tonight. Derek Lewis is a bad boy, man. He's been a lot of fun to have in our heavyweight division here in the UFC, and obviously very beloved here in the town of Houston and around the world. I mean, he's a pretty big star for us. And I would say the exact opposite. If you looked at Derek Lewis coming into the UFC, I don't know if people would have expected him to do what he's accomplished here. He's become a huge superstar and done some pretty great things.
I asked Derek Lewis once about winning the heavyweight championship here, and he said he just wanted to pay for his damn house.
Yeah, well, he did that.
Type of guy he is.
He definitely did that.
Thank you.
He's made some money, and he's made a nice life for himself. And he's a good human being. He's one of these guys that when bad things happen, he's out there helping other people. And he's a big, scary-looking dude, but there's a big heart inside there. We like him a lot, and we'll see what's next for him.
Dana, right in front of you, back here.
Yep.
A lot of talking about the heavyweight division. Obviously, you said you had met with Francis. Is there any update on John Jones or Stipe? Is that a fight that we could see those two?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see here pretty soon how this all plays out. Jones, Stipe, Francis, and Ty now too. So,
Thanks.
thank you.
Hey Dana, just at the back over here,
Yep.
mate. We didn't get to see you after 270, and I just wanted to ask you about Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo. I mean, I think nobody would complain if we saw those guys fight on every single pay-per-view. But do you think we'll see a fourth fight?
So he was just asking me if Adesanya and Whitaker would fight 3 times, and I'm like, nah, I don't know. I don't disagree with you, man. I mean, that fight for a 4th time, and I don't think anybody would disagree. I don't know. I think the fans want it too. It's crazy. It's one of those freak fights that just works 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. I don't know. We'll see.
The bantamweight division as well is on fire at the moment. How impressed were you by Kyler Phillips and Douglas Andrade today?
Yeah, no, I mean, the card was great. It was a great night. It was a great night of fights. Everybody.
Dana over here.
Yep.
Houston seems to be a really easy spot to host these events. Do you see us
I
coming
agree
back?
with you, sir.
Do you see us coming back here again this year?
I don't know. I don't know if probably. I don't know. We'll see. Again, we'll see. I told you guys a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever I told you, be Texas, Vegas, Florida for a while. So I was right. But like I said earlier, it seems like things are loosening up. So if that happens, start traveling around and having some fun again. So hopefully that's the case.
Hi, Dana, over here. Do we have an update on who the first full send fighter is?
Yeah, it'll come out on the show. Looking for a fight.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, just this week, Vegas is now open, no mask mandate anymore.
Yep.
Any plans? You mentioned maybe some more traveling, but any immediate plans for maybe moving some of the UFC fight nights in Vegas to allow more people, or?
Yeah. You mean more people in the Apex?
In the Apex or another venue, or?
Yeah. Borsari, how much more can we open up the Apex? How many more people can we fit in there?
Well, we're working on getting up to 750 in there. So.
There you go.
Nice.
It's in the works.
Nice, thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a safe trip home. Good night.